BPod Studios.
Dutcher and Hardy, the reviews are in.
I got to stay on talk about you. Give me about 5 minutes of my time.
Hear what he said. Now more of on the Sports Hub.
Hey, we are Dutcher and Hardy. This hour of our show is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. If you're just getting up, it will be, you turn on Good Morning America, it says major winter storm takes aim at the Northeast. Not here. As they say around these parts, north of 90, you're looking at 3 inches.
If that.
And so, and it does not seem cold. It's turning to rain, according to my measurements. I've done the Hardy's under the impression that these meteorologists are doing real math work in like science when they're just reading what the computer says. But now, I mean, it's a rain snow mix to say the least. To say the least. I mean,
yes, that's why they changed their forecast last night, because as they accurately decided, God had changed his mind and wasn't going to dump as much snow in the region as they thought 2 days ago.
It's God's plan.
You never get it right.
It's God's plan. We're just following along. That's all it is.
God's plan.
That's why there's two footprints, 2 pairs of footprints. Now there's only one.
Bring it home.
Mm-hmm.
Who's carrying you?
There it is.
JC.
There it is.
Well done.
All right. Yeah, it's going to be 37 degrees at 9, and that doesn't make snow.
No, that makes rain usually. Yeah.
Or
Newton schools. It just shows you Newton schools in session today because they were anarchists and struck for that long time, so they can't have it. It just shows that your kids could be in school right now.
Yeah, Natick schools canceled at 3
made
o'clock yesterday afternoon.
They could have made the decision at 5 o'clock this morning.
Pretty
that
much.
could have happened regardless.
Yep.
The weather had changed. The forecast had changed by 5 in the morning. They could have had school. Your kids could be in school right now. If you're paying for daycare or something, my advice would be to sue the town. Fire the mayor.
There it is.
Get them out of there.
Yeah.
The school board should all be thrown out. They're all living high on the hog, eating free buffets everywhere they go, every which way but loose on your dime.
Maybe you could pick it and have a rally and get out there and tell everyone what you're doing out there.
My advice to you is when you're screwing with people's money and children, go out and bring as many instruments with you. What the Newton teachers did right was they said, we need to have a visible presence. And we need to be having a good time. Oh, there's TV cameras. Let's start singing.
We need a drum set.
No, that is the whoever gave them that advice is a complete moron. Because they all looked like the teachers that like hang out at the library. They were library people, and they were banging around tambourines, and it just looked bad. It made me not like them, quite frankly. All right, here we go. This is Travis Kelce, another guy I don't like. And if you recall, Hardy, if you would, Travis Kelce is the man that we've heard speak after Super Bowls and things. He talks like this.
Nah.
Yes, he. What else is he?
I feel so good, don't it? Let me hear you say, oh!
Yes.
We do this for you guys.
Yeah, that's right.
That is how Travis Kelce sounds. So for us to only know Travis Kelce from his celebrations, we have this this way that Travis Kelce speaks.
Can you dig it?
Which I guess a lot of it is just acting like The Rock. But nonetheless, I mean, he's not the most original human being. I can't imagine that he's a delight to talk to. But there was a television show where he was dating. Travis Kelce somehow agreed to do a dating show. You would think it would be well above him, or below him, rather. That why would he want to be on camera doing anything? I mean, but Travis Kelce, and this was, when was this, Hardy?
2016.
So this was a younger Travis Kelce, probably, I guess he's around 26 years old. He's chasing that elusive fame. He hasn't found yet that you just Instagram famous people until they agree to go out with you. And here is what it sounded like. But just remember what he sounds like in celebrations.
Oh, by the way, the name of the show, do you know the name of the show?
What?
Studs?
Catching Kelce.
Oh, okay.
With K's?
No.
Can you catch Kelce? Triple Ks. The KKK. And the first, you can guess who got eliminated first.
50 women,
minorities.
50 women, one from each state.
One from each ethnicity.
No. I missed that.
And the whitest one wins.
No,
How about that?
First it was the Jews, and then they
well, it depends.
Always the first to go.
It depends. I mean, there was a lot of hate, whatever it was. They had 50 different religions and nationalities.
Right.
And the purest, they did a DNA test on all of them. And one by one. And the blondest, blue-eyedest one went with Kelce. Ironically, you would think by the way he speaks, he wouldn't be so racist.
Sure.
But he's very, very racist.
So this wasn't like The Bachelor because there wasn't going to be an engagement. There's no cash prize like Love Island. Instead, they were just competing for the title of Kelce's first girlfriend in the NFL. That's what you're competing to be Travis Kelce's first girlfriend as an NFL player.
Okay. So just mouth stuff.
Yes. That's it.
You were only agreeing that he would perform mouth stuff.
Travis is the total package. Even his shadow is sexy.
I don't believe these women. That sounds scripted. Call me a cynic. But this sounds a little scripted.
Travis is the total package. Even his shadow is sexy.
This is Travis. He's a superstar athlete looking for love.
There's 50 of you and one of me.
The best lady wins.
Wait, what? That was Travis Kelce? I thought Travis Kelce was this guy.
Let me hear you say,
Wait, that was... Wait, whoa.
50 of you and one of me.
I'm not even kidding. I'm not even kidding. Jesus. When did he start? So in 2016, he spoke completely differently than he speaks now.
There are 50 of you, and there are one of me.
There's 50 of you, and there's one of me. Na, 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 na.
I feel so good, don't it? Let me hear you
so
say,
good. Machi. Appropriation.
The best lady wins.
Watch Catching Kelce.
Previously on Catching Kelce. This offseason, I have moved out west for the first time to Los Angeles in hopes of finding that one special girl. I will put 60 seconds on a clock.
And how long will it take me to achieve this? I will put 60 seconds on a clock. How long will it take me to set the clock?
You can almost
the answer is 2 days.
You can almost hear the pauses between the words. He's here, space, clock.
Now,
space.
you know, they just redid the show, and he's like, you know how many time it takes to click the clock?
60 seconds on the clock. You have to guess how long it takes me to...
Let me hear you say,
You have to fight for your right to party because that's the most nauseating one.
Oh, of course.
That's the most...
You gotta fight for your right.
I really hate him. I can't wait until his life is... I can't wait until his life is destroyed. I really... That's why I was betting so heavily on Kansas City, because the more that he gets now, the worse the payback later. Because, again, he wants so badly to be famous, and he's really got no skills outside of football.
Well,
he's
an historian.
Don't nobody know we represent and honor every single veteran that went to war for us in World War I. What's good?
In hopes of finding that one special girl.
He has
Everyone who sent me an email challenging anything I ever said about him, Exhibit A and Exhibit B.
In hopes of finding that one special girl.
The clip
We
you just
do this
played.
for you guys.
The clip you just keep playing.
Don't nobody know we represent and honor every single veteran that went to war for us in World War I. What's good?
In hopes of finding that one special girl.
He's the best.
People went to
No,
war,
he's not. He's
went
the
to
worst.
Went to war in hopes of finding that one special girl.
Yeah. Well, I mean, how many babies were made right before the men took off?
Yeah.
He was an American boy, born and bred in the USA. So, like, again, because he so badly wants to be famous, but he's not particularly likable or good at anything besides football. And so what will happen is he's going to have to live his life online. And when him and Taylor Swift ultimately, whenever it happens, or even if they got married, it would piss her fans off. There's really no scenario with her that works. everything he does online is going to be met with incredible amounts of backlash. He's going to have a terrible time. Like I told you, like he'll go like, that was a keen football play, and people are just like, go kill yourself. In fact, Adam-12 is going to be on after this in just a moment, because I've proven my point with the Travis Kelce thing.
And now I am down to 4 incredible girls.
And then what did he say after that?
Don't nobody know we represent and honor every single veteran that went to war for us in World War I. What's good?
Yeah, that's great. That's good for you.
What's good?
That's
Not
what's
history.
good. Not you.
Not history.
No,
History
Feels
is
so
good.
good, don't it? Let me hear you say, oh!
You are from suburban Cincinnati, my friend. But what happens when you piss off? What if you're somebody that no one knows and you piss off Taylor Swift? Ooh. What are you talking about, Fred? What are you speaking about? How is Travis? You're jealous of Travis Kelce. No, I certainly am not. I can tell you what's going to happen. And Adam-12 can tell you what happened to him. He pissed off the Swifties years ago, and he'll tell you for himself. And if you think, and he's just some guy. Imagine if you're this high profile a person, and he ain't no artist. He can't for his own career, he can't be a recluse. So he's got to be active online.
He's got to be a recluse, only making love to raccoons. He has to.
In Vivant. All right, so we will be back in just a moment.
You gotta fight for your right to fight. Believe it, baby, we're gonna Las Vegas, Nevada, to go get us
BackstageCountry.com, your online home for all things country music. Lainey Wilson is on a roll. She's delivering great music and teaming up with some of country's hottest acts. Text Lainey to 45911 to see which 4 Lainey Wilson collabs have us talking at BackstageCountry.com. Text Lainey to 45911 to get a link to the list sent right to your phone from BackstageCountry.com.
At our website.
Now, more Tuncher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
There's someone who says Fred's annoying hate and constant repeat of Travis Kelce's annoying. Let the man make his money with his split personalities.
Let me hear you say, oh!
So that is for him to make money, he has to change the way he speaks in an offensive way.
We do this for you guys.
That's why he's making money. I would play things from the Vox Pro, but it keeps going to sleep ever since they fixed it, and then you got to sign back in.
I feel so good, don't it? Let me hear you say, oh!
Now play something from his dating show.
And now I am down to 4 incredible girls.
It's me. He's capitalizing on his fame while he can. So he's going to use women in appropriate cultures to make money, and we're all going to sit there and bow to the guy? I mean, there's other ways to make money, sir.
And I mean, I wouldn't say to his credit, but I guess to argue against that person's point, Fred, Kelce hates the fact that he did this. He never wanted it to be out there, and people still give him a ton of crap about it to this day, which they should.
Well, he did it. What do you mean he didn't ever wanted to get out? What did he?
He didn't want it. He doesn't want it.
Why? Because it's offensive to his brand.
He immediately regretted it.
Who's tweeting on?
They don't just make television shows. There's quite a little bit of lead up to it. I mean, there's a whole television is probably the most laborious process on the planet. There was probably a good year between conception and execution, and then months after, probably they edited it in a day.
Yeah.
But if you wonder what I'm saying about he's dating the Taylor Swift, and this is all going to end terribly for him. And you say, well, what are you talking about? And I'll say, well, I'm friends with someone who it happened to. Adam-12 was knee-deep in Taylor Swift one night.
It was not good. Wait, I thought we were here to talk about the bean pot.
Isn't that what we're doing?
We
Beanpot segment?
did that from 6 until like 7:55, so we did almost 2 hours.
Yeah, and John's putting it in every update.
I've heard it. Thank you, John.
You're
I wanted
welcome.
to thank you in person.
With audio.
Yes.
With audio,
Yep.
which is very exciting because if you don't know, Adam played the trombone.
That's right, and the pep band.
I might have heard that once or twice.
At Northeastern.
Yeah. Now on
scholarship.
For all of you guys,
That's right.
For all of you guys with Northeastern degrees, just know it can get you a free ticket to getting spaghetti dinners at church in order to feed your family.
Yeah, if St. Patrick's Day is the one day we all pretend to be Irish, yesterday is the one day a year we all pretend to care about college hockey.
That's right.
And now we can go back to our normal lives.
No, especially it's a great day for Northeastern graduates, even though that baseball team is getting pretty good. All right, Adam-12.
Yes.
So take us through your adventure with the Swifties, the Taylor Swift fans.
So Taylor Swift was the musical guest on SNL, and it was like November of 2021, whatever album she had out then. And it's funny. I know you're a big SNL guy, Fred.
Yes.
And you like to watch it the day after you watch like the YouTube clips. I do a similar thing. I'll usually watch it the next morning with my kids, put on a pot of coffee on Sunday morning because I don't like staying up that late on Saturday night. But for whatever reason, I don't remember why. It was a while ago. I was up late watching SNL, and I have the tweets right here, and the tweet is marked at 12:22 a.m. on the 14th of November 2021. Christ Almighty, this Taylor Swift cringe fest on SNL.
Wow.
And because what she had done is she had some 10-minute long song that she decided to play.
So Rachel in the promotions
Yes.
department for Rock 92.9, Fred, I know you're a big fan of the
Yes.
channel that Adam-12 and I work on,
Yeah.
was explaining to us, like, yeah, that was maybe a little bit self-indulgent, but if you know the whole story behind the 10-minute song, you understand how powerful it was. I was like, no, I don't. You're on Saturday Night Live. Go out there, play a hit song or two.
And that's the point.
That's it. That's
The
it. And then
stage
you're
that
done.
one time held Fear and
Yeah.
one time held Deion Sanders.
Right, and that's the point, is if you're going to do something subversive or off, like kind of outside of the box on SNL, you do what Fear did. You do what Elvis Costello did. You do what the Replacements did. You don't do this weird self-indulgent thing for 10 long minutes. So I said that, and then I went on and I made the mistake of following that up by saying Taylor Swift is the girl who spent high school being popular, then joined the drama club her senior year, and now she fancies herself an artist.
Oh. Okay, so how many followers did you have at the time, would you guess? Just
I'm at around 7,000, which is not
Okay.
but I was, at the time, remember, blue checks meant something a few years ago.
It doesn't matter. It's 7,000.
I had a blue check.
But so you put this tweet out, 7,000.
Yeah.
So at best, say there's no computers, 7,000 people can read it.
Right.
So this is the middle of the night on a Saturday.
Yeah.
A Sunday morning, really.
Really.
And you're a disc jockey in Boston.
Yeah.
And what is the fallout? What happened?
I saw nothing that night. I went to bed, and I woke up the next morning to many notifications on Twitter from Swifties with a lot of KYS. They love to tell you to kill yourself.
Yeah, so that was a big thing. And so my question to Hardy was, say you did kill yourself, and say Swifty 51. Yeah. Was the person, and you went, and you in your note you went, Swifty 51, you put me over the edge.
Yeah, and then I'm gone. Right.
And I wonder if Swifty 51 hears that, if they're A, appalled that there's blood on their hands, or B, excited that they got you to do it.
The latter.
Okay, that's what Hardy said.
The latter.
Yes.
Yeah,
all right.
I believe it to be the latter because I believe that a big part of it's this weird thing where there's this, which again to me makes no sense. Like you're a fan of one of the biggest artists, if not the biggest artist in the world. Okay. There's no reason for you to want to be a victim.
It's not territorial. You're not like protecting your scene.
Right, but there's this aspect to a big part of the fan base where they want to put themselves in this role of being put upon and being a victim, and that's not what
tribalism
that's about at all. There you go. But yeah, so death threats and there were multiple attempts to hack my Twitter because you get an email saying, hey, there's an unauthorized login to your Twitter and all that. So that was how I spent that Sunday morning, was cleaning all that up.
So my point is that Adam-12 just put this performance sucks.
Right.
Of Taylor Swift. He critiqued an artist's performance on a national television show.
An actual opinion.
Yes.
And it became news. Like, this got picked up by, like, NBC News and stuff, like, or whatever.
Yeah.
His story went viral. And so everyone's like, kill yourself. There's multiple people trying to hack his account. Now, times that by, I don't know, 50 million, 100 million, 200 million. So say out of 7,000 people, say 100 people tried, let's lowball it. 100 people tried to hack his account.
Yeah. Sure.
How about 50 million people 50 million times try to hack your account? I mean, this is going to be Travis Kelce's life for the rest of his life, his online life. Now, and he'll be followed by paparazzi, but he'll probably like that, and I'm sure you can massage that through PR people and everything. But every time, and he is looking for that reassurance from the audience. I mean, this is why you do a dating show. Right. This is why you change your voice. This is the way you act in a different way than you would normally act. I mean, he's not a very smart guy, obviously, the way that he talks like The Rock all the time. No offense to James Stewart, but but he's doing all this, so he wants to have this big. Being online is something they're going to want from him. People are going to want your social media presence, and again, he'll be like, "Oh, that running back for Oakland just made a cool move." And people are going to be like, go kill yourself. It's just going to be this sea of garbage. And every move he makes is going to just get hacked. Yeah. It's going to take like a team of he's going to have like the Pentagon. He's going to have the Pentagon. And I don't understand the Taylor Swift things. If these are all teenage girls, what is this this bloodlust? And this because they're smart enough, I guess, to say, go kill yourself, in that they're not saying, I'm going to kill you, which could be taken as a threat. Sure. But if you really believe that they would be happy that they were the person that got you to kill yourself, doesn't that make them like homicidal maniacs? Or like that makes them psychopaths?
Let's look at the main and again, I understand that Taylor Swift fans. I learned a lot. Believe me, I learned a lot about this through this experience. It's a pretty wide swath of fans, but let's say the majority demographic is middle to upper class white girls, right? Those are your basic Taylor Swift fans. Sure. This is excitement for again. They've lived lives for the most part of privilege, and they haven't had a whole lot of adversity to deal with. That particular demographic, I think we would all agree. Of course, there's outliers to that. Of course, there are people that deal with a lot of adversity, but for the most part, they don't. So this is a way for them to kind of dial into that, where they cape for this star, and as soon as they see someone say something negative about them, they get in the mix and get that kind of endorphin rush, I guess. Yeah. It's a different level of trolling. It's just a different brand of trolling.
But I mean, if I saw that my daughter, who is 13 and no fan of Taylor Swift, by the way, if I saw
you done right.
Well, no, but she liked the one doing the satanic stuff. That's the one she likes.
Ice Spice.
Who's that?
Ice Spice.
Oh, I like Ice Spice. Yeah.
My
oldest is in Ice Spice.
No, she had a backward cross, upside down cross, and she was doing devil horns for the audience, thereby putting out a message to her satanic minions.
Oh, I see.
Antonio Brown was up on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, my daughter likes the Ice Spice.
I like Ice Spice.
She was excited by Ice Spice, not so much with Taylor Swift. But if I saw my daughter was telling strangers to go kill themselves, I'd be at least annoyed by her and just be like, ugh.
Yeah.
Really? This is how you're sending stuff out to strangers? In fact, if I knew that she was tweeting or emailing strangers, I would find the whole thing to be weird.
Sure, because illusory. It's not a normal thing to do.
Right.
It's not a healthy thing to do, to go online and tell strangers to kill themselves.
Yeah,
for whatever reason.
In fact, I would intervene if I saw that she was telling strangers to do that.
Yeah. The worst thing, though, is
if I saw that she was tweeting it at celebrities, I might intervene anyway.
Right.
Like, I think I'd intervene.
But remember, they're not all 13-year-olds. They're 13-year-olds. There's some adults that do this as well.
Well, you don't say. I never experienced that. Wait a second, Adam. Now you're.
Like, that's how we started this segment, right? We got a guy caping for Travis Kelce and texting you
it didn't even make
8:20 on
I just like to read the one
Tuesday morning.
Why do we when no one's working?
Why are they again? These people don't need your help. They don't need you to cape for them. They're rich and famous, and that's not going to change.
I think you stumbled onto it, though. It's a large portion of that group of people that don't have like any other struggle or thing to fight for in their lives right now, or at least they're not focused in on it.
Right.
They're choosing to focus on this.
Yeah.
This is the cause I'm going to take up. Like, all right, well,
there's not a lot out there that you could take up for causes right now. There's not a lot wrong in the world that you could be putting your energy into.
Not that they personally have to experience, or B, care enough about to do anything about
I
it.
actually never thought about it, but it's true. If I saw that my daughter or son had a Twitter account or an Instagram account where they were like talking, sending out
chirping
stuff
at anybody,
chirping like negative stuff to people that they didn't know, I would be like, I'd intervene.
What the hell's wrong with
I
you?
would, I would be like, what is? I would be like, oh wow, I really screwed up, which it's very possible I did. But I'd be like, wow, I really screwed up. Like this is like. That's weird. I never thought about it before, but like if you think about your own kids, I'd be like, this is like psycho.
I feel
like
the
you're
same
a
way.
Psycho.
Yeah.
Like you're just like, because like if it's people they know or something, then you're just like, all right, well, maybe this is something we should talk about. But if it was just like sending stuff out to like they had this whole like life online of like sending stuff out negative to people.
There's that rage that needs to be siphoned off somehow. that you need to get under control.
Be like, maybe we need to sign you up for karate or something. Like this is not the greatest.
Yeah, go break some boards.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I don't care for that. All right. Well, Hardy, you're here.
Yeah, hi.
But Adam-12, I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on. I like sitting in with you guys.
Go take a hike in the.
Here's the thing with the snow. I wanted more snow. I literally have my snowshoes and poles in my trunk and was ready to go.
We were goofing on you in the back room. Lockhart said, "Look at 12. I bet he friggin' cross country skied to work today." And I said, "No, that hipster doofus snowshoed."
Yeah,
or
no,
he would
I
have.
got him ready to go after I get off the air this
I want to
afternoon.
traverse the snow as slowly as possible.
But
I don't want to
tell
go
me-
quick at all. I
tell
want to
me
spend
that-
as much time out there as possible.
right.
They're the old wood and wicker
No,
snowshoes.
they're not. I got a nice birthday gift from my folks a couple years ago. I got a nice fancy new style pair from LL Bean. So it was
let's be
aluminum.
honest, he got them from the church.
That's it, from the basement. They were the wooden ones in the basement.
When he woke up on the cot and he rolled over and there was a new pair of snowshoes telling him to skedaddle.
I don't want to go quick.
But if you follow Adam on social media, you can see he takes pictures at all the free areas around town.
I do like to share my hiking photos.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like the Walden Pond photos.
Oh, I love.
You know what the best thing about Walden Pond? Free.
Yeah, that's right. Well, no, you got to pay. I buy the year-long pass from the DCR.
Yeah, but that's got to go to.
But I get my money's worth.
Yeah,
$60 for the year.
Yeah,
you kidding me?
It's got to go to like people who pick up the trash or something.
Yeah.
Very, very close and easy to get to.
That's right. You know, Walt knows. He's a Winchester guy. Don't worry about it.
Well, it's a sanctuary for Wallach. He goes out there.
Oh,
and
Jesus.
Doesn't have to worry about anybody taking pot shots at him.
Flying overhead.
No, it's not.
Well, that's
Eagles,
why he
it's
stays-
cormorants out there. You see cormorants.
He hates the government in Florida because it's why he's here in February because of all the gun. There's no gun laws, and they are always taking shots at him down in Florida. So he stays up here in the Northeast, and he freezes a little beak off. But it doesn't matter because he knows he's not going to get shot. All right, he's a bird, you see, big old ugly bird. All right, Adam. I'm sorry you had to go through that with the Taylor Swift.
It's
fans.
okay.
And I hope
learned.
that you don't kill yourself. How about that?
I will not. I was learning and I learned and I grew.
I want you to live to be an old man.
I want that too.
All right, very good.
Thank you, Freddie.
Adam.
I love
Thanks,
you.
12.
I love you too, buddy.
Adam.
All right, we'll be back. Here are the headlines.
BackstageCountry.com, your online home for all things country music. Award-winning movies often have incredible soundtracks, and many of those have gone on to become country gold. We've picked our top 5 country songs that have been nominated for an Oscar. Text Oscar to 45911 to see if your favorite made the list on BackstageCountry.com. Text Oscar to 45911 and we'll send the link straight to your phone.
We're back with Toucher and Hardy on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
This hour of Toucher and Hardy is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. Adam-12 with the snowshoes, and Hardy and I were talking about it off air. Adam's like, when he was leaving the studio, he's like, I really do hope it snows because 4 to 6 inches, that's a nice base for me to snowshoe in. And we were talking about, like, my dad went to Dartmouth in New Hampshire back when it snowed. And so he would carry around snowshoes apparently in his trunk because if you, like, got stuck or something, like, you literally needed snowshoes to get out, to get help, or to get home. Like, there were places where you needed snowshoes. So snowshoes are by design meant to get you out of the situation of the snow, not to put you in the situation with the snow.
Yes.
There's like a tool, a utility for leaving snow, not seeking snow and then walking it. I don't know how that would be fun at all.
Just walking. I mean, just taking forever to get through it.
It doesn't make any sense. Like, why would you?
I hope it gets dark enough
do.
tonight so I can go outside and light off these flares. No, you keep those in your trunk,
right,
for an emergency.
Right. Yeah. I'm just going to set up these cones on the street to knock down. I like to avoid big patches of road. That's what I do for fun. All right, so we were talking about this very early in the show, but it is the big screaming match, and I don't think I think it questions the authenticity of some of the players as we went through the thinking process. All right, so there's a three-pronged attack on the 49ers that's going on now. There's no excuse, and they should have not elected to receive it overtime. So that's the most legitimate one, and we'll get to that one. The second pronged attack is that the 49ers were unprepared, and Shanahan even was unaware of the playoff overtime rules. And number three was the players were regular Benedict Arnolds for throwing Shanahan under the bus and saying they didn't know about the overtime rules. The fullback,
Kyle Juszczyk.
He has such a erection.
Bingo.
Unlike Adam for that.
Harvard University's own.
You looked that up since. And the Armstead fella, they both said that they didn't know what was going on. So let's start with the idea that Kyle Shanahan didn't know the overtime rules of the playoffs. That's asinine. There's no way. There's never in a million years. So that's not even worth discussing. Like, he's playing in the NFL playoffs and he's not privy to the rules of the overtime, and like you are. You know what I'm saying? Like, you, the fan, know more than the coach. Let's just assume that's not true. Let's take that leap. Now, here is the interesting part. I believe that the Juszczyk and the Armstead didn't recall the overtime rules. But, John, I thought it was interesting. You've been around professional basketball teams. How are they presented information?
Back in the day, teams used to give binders to players, and the veterans never looked at them before playoff series. Rookies did because it was their first time through it. Now you get all the information on a tablet. And when we talked about this earlier, I am betting that information was readily available. All you had to do was point and click.
Exactly.
And the veterans never did it because the veterans don't want to look at yet another scouting report. They're getting film sessions. They're getting crushed with information leading up to the game.
And this is a story I'll tell a million times because I think it's a good story, and it's from the horse's mouth, is Wes Welker, who's at one point going to be a head coaching candidate in major college football or the pros. That's what he's angling for. Was the wide receivers coach for the Texans. He was in studio with us, and he was like, this job sucks. And we're like, why? He goes, it's the stupidest thing. I have to sit and watch film and take still pictures of every play where the receivers are standing and where they finish the routes. I print them out, and literally no one looks at them. I print them out for no reason. My entire job is the entire waste of time. So we know that the players, obviously, the information was, Jesus, they could have Googled it. Like, what happens if curiosity struck them? The information's out there. So the idea maybe is that Kyle Shanahan didn't repeat it like a mantra from training camp on that got stuck in their brain. But the idea that he didn't coach it, or that the players didn't have that information available to them is asinine. That's on them. And now let's take it a step further. If you hear ex-players, which I have on ESPN, one of the dozens of ex-players they have pontificating about this, and they claim, I can't believe Kyle Shanahan didn't tell them about this, or Kyle Shanahan. You're telling me that there's tens of millions of dollars of coaches and analytics people and MIT graduates teaming in that building, spending untold hours to prepare for what amounts to 20 games a season. 20 times 3, 60 hours a year. They spend all year working, and that they don't have the players the simplest of playoff overtime rules available to them. Get out of here. That's disingenuous. And you're such an idiot as a player that the coach had to repeat something to you 5,000 times for it to get into your head. That's your problem. If you were smart enough to get into Harvard and you tried hard enough in high school, Lord knows that you know the responsibilities on you. But in fairness, they didn't throw Shanahan under the bus necessarily. They just said, hey, I didn't know. I personally didn't know. Maybe it was self-deprecating on their own part. And the idea that they would have played differently as players with that information, like, well, if I knew that, I would have tried harder. It's overtime of the Super Bowl. I would have. I was conserving energy.
You're pretty
at this
much
point.
still taking orders from the sideline as to where to go.
And I would imagine that you're pretty amped up at that point. Did you see the 49ers at the beginning of that game? They were out of their minds. The guy tore his Achilles running onto the field. The drugs going through those guys' bodies? To tear your Achilles running onto the field.
You don't see that happen
Maji.
Yeah.
And then the other debate is, which I think is a good debate, and it didn't work, is that Shanahan shouldn't have received the kick in overtime. I don't believe he didn't know the rules. But Shanahan's argument covers all his bases, even though I disagree with it. And his argument is, once both teams have possessed the ball, if the game's still going on, it's sudden death and we wanted the ball third. So any argument against that doesn't hold water to me. Now, he was wrong in this game, but his reasoning was sound. So Kansas City said, now our coach is the best. We'd been told since training camp that if we're in the Super Bowl and it goes into overtime.
What meeting in July does that happen?
That we would defer and that we would, if we scored a touchdown, so this has been going on since July, that if they would defer, if the other team scored
July 29th. Hold on a second. I want to make sure you understand the playoff Super Bowl overtime rules.
So in this scenario, they claim that Reed had been saying if they defer, the other team scores a touchdown, they kick an extra point. If Kansas City then turns around and scores a touchdown, they're going to go for two.
Okay.
So that is the argument, is that, well, they would go for two and win the game outright. Well, I like my chances more of stopping you going for two and getting the ball and then the game ending than I do, having further possessions of the game. I like it. Yeah, I want you going for two. I'd rather stop you, but I like my chances. That's why I kicked the extra point. So you have to go for two to win the game outright, right? Or else I would go for two,
Or else I get the third possession.
Yeah,
Yes.
or you're right. No, but what I'm saying is I like my chances there. I like my chances of stopping you on the 2-point conversion.
As a defensive player. I don't believe any of this. And
that's the thing. That's my point, Hardy, that it takes me forever to get to.
Right.
Is I don't believe the analysis. I don't believe the analysts.
Now,
I believe that they are being told they have to have an opinion that's different from everyone else's, and they're feigning ignorance. Go ahead.
You're saying as a player, I didn't know the overtime rules. We didn't discuss it. It's not like the rules are different for the Super Bowl. It's for the entire playoff format. So if you didn't know what the rules were for overtime going into it, that's on you. This is your job. This is presumably the most important thing to you is to win playoff games and ultimately win the Super Bowl. And you don't know the rules for overtime? And this wasn't just for Sunday. This goes back for a couple of weeks now. So that's for all the 49ers players and anybody who says they didn't know. Now,
and it also doesn't matter if you're Armstead that you knew the rules or if you're the fullback that you knew the rules.
Thank you.
What the hell does it matter to you?
You go out there and you execute your plays and you run the plays. Now, there's got to be some situational awareness, but that mostly has to do, I think, more than anything with the clock. And as many of us found out, as time was ticking off that overtime period, it didn't matter. They were going to just play more without a change of possession if they were in the middle of a series. So even the clock management didn't enter into it. It's just about playing football. Now, if you want to get into a discussion as to what we were going to do, well, it should have come to playoff, so people weren't caught off guard. Okay, I guess, but I still side with Shanahan and the decision to take the ball. Take the ball, score, and then by all means, like you said, Fred, even if he knew what the Chiefs were going to do, go down and had the 49ers scored a touchdown, that the Chiefs were going to come down, try and score a touchdown and go for two, good. Go for two. You might get in once, but I like our chances of stopping you at least one of those times with a goal line defense. I'll take my chances on that one. Go ahead, Andy, Patrick, everybody. Go for two if you score. I'd like to see you have the balls to try that.
I just don't understand if you're a fullback how knowing the rules would change the way you play. That's like a private in the trenches of World War II where they're like, shoot the gun, and him going like, well, how are we attacking from the southern flank?
Or as Kelce would say, World War I.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah, well, there's a whole...
Well, it depends what generation of Kelce we're talking about. Right. Are we talking about modern-day
Don't
Kelce?
nobody know we represent and honor every single veteran that went to war for us in World War I. What's good?
Or are we talking about Kelce from 2016?
And now I am down to 4 incredible girls.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing the difference.
All of a sudden, he's so different.
It's just a lot different.
We do this for you guys.
All right.
Yes. And then what did he say in 2016?
And now I am down to 4 incredible girls.
It's amazing.
How I am down to fornicate with you girls.
I am down to 2 girls. It's going to be what I call a quadro sesh.
Let me hear you say,
Ugh. Ew. He's the worst.
The last 6 months have made me like his brother so much more.
I don't like his brother either.
Why don't you like his brother?
Because I told you, he pretended to be drunk off the light beer.
Okay.
He pretended to be drunk and fat, and he's not. He wasn't nearly drunk enough or fat enough.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly what it is.
All right.
And that guy could drink 7,000 beers and not get drunk. His stomach could not metabolize the alcohol quick enough.
He still doesn't speak like that.
No.
He speaks like a normal human being.
Well, they
a
grew up
normal
in
human being with a dad and at least, how many kids does he have? Whatever.
Are you saying that they grew up in the same home and that they would speak the same? I
Yes.
don't understand how
Yes.
that...
can you dig it?
But in fairness, Travis has been in Kansas City for all this time.
Right. The mean streets.
Yeah. Well, I don't doubt that Kansas City has its problems, but I don't think Kelsey's dealing with them. All right, Cedric Maxwell will be joining us. He is good friends with John Wallach, and he is got his number retired in the rafters of Boston Garden. We will be right back.